Hey everyone, thought I'd do a quick follow-up on my video where I encourage us to talk to our kids about race. So I appreciate the comments, and they kind of were in two different areas. In one area, the comments were saying, thanks so much for sharing this. This was my experience or my child's experience. How do I help them navigate it? And then there was another group of comments that would ask, well, how do you know it was about race? Like maybe it was just the person doesn't like kids coming into the store. And I want to address that, and that it's important to understand it's how my child or how any child perceives the interaction that's important for us as adults to understand, not to poke holes in it, but then also to realize that children are shaped by their experiences over time. So let me tell you a little bit more about his experience, because it's not just what he's perceiving, it's how he's been perceived and experienced the world over time. There was one time when he was playing baseball and there were kids on the other team who wouldn't give a high five to him and other black and brown kids on his team. And then there was an incident more recently where in the middle of the basketball game, he and his other black teammates were called the N-word. So it's not just his perception of what's happening, it's how the world has reflected who they see him as, what they expect of him or what they don't expect of him, how they treat him. All of those things shaped his questioning in that moment to wonder, is this because of my race? And so I don't discount people for looking for other reasons and poking holes in his story, but I also want you to understand the broader picture. When you raise a black child in the United States, that race is a factor, and that race is an important factor that you have to be ready to grapple with. If you saw the recent New York Times article, you saw that black children from very affluent families are not guaranteed to do well in life. They actually might do just as well or worse off than a white child who's from a lower socioeconomic or education background. And so when you're dealing in a world where education doesn't save you, where nothing you can do will protect your child, and that reason they are unprotected is because of race, I feel like I owe it to him to be willing to question with him, wonder with him, talk to him about race. And I'll just say thanks to those who shared their own stories of microaggressions and how it's shaped their life. I talked to a few white women in particular who were asking, like, what do I do as a teacher when these microaggressions happen to my student? How do I talk to my white children? And I want you to know that I hear those questions. I responded to some comments, but I hear those questions and am developing other material that we'll talk about in the future about how we all can have a role in creating more equitable experiences for all children. So let's keep the conversation going. I love the comments and can feed off of those and shape future segments. And if you feel like this will resonate with someone in your life, please share.